A sequel to Carrie? Sure, why not? Here are 19 reasons to watch The Rage Carrie 2. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dave Musson, at Dave Musson on Instagram, and this is a place where I talk to you about all things Stephen King. And in this video, we are continuing our walk through the movies and adaptations, and in this case, sequels to Stephen King's works. And we're talking about The Rage Carrie 2, and I'm going to give you 19 reasons to watch this surprisingly well-aged film from 1999 in just a few moments. Do check out the description for links to my Stephen King quiz book and to some of my fiction, my newsletter, podcast, all of those kind of things. But more than anything, thank you so much for being here and checking this video out. It really does mean a lot. So as I mentioned, we're still in 1999 and we're up to something that was not necessarily wanted, not necessarily needed, but has actually, as I said just now, aged pretty well. We're talking about The Rage Carrie 2. Now yes, you can make the argument that it just looks like one 90-minute nu metal music video. I mean, I don't have a problem with that anyway, but beyond that, the movie has a lot in here that still works today as I'm recording this in 2024. And that's what I'm going to tell you about in this video, so do stick around. Now, if you're worried about spoilers, if you're worried about me ruining a first-time watch for you, don't be. There will be reasons that might spoil a first-time watch, but I will hide them behind a spoiler alert so you can bail at that point, and you can just use the timestamp below to skip ahead to the outro. Or, of course, you can watch all 19 reasons and come with me the whole way. Now, if you're in the UK and you want to watch The Rage Carrie 2, it's currently streaming at the time of recording on the MGM Amazon channel. And if you're in the US, it's streaming on Max and on Showtime. So it's definitely one you can find pretty easily if you want to watch this one. Okay, enough fooling around, let's get into it. Here are 19 reasons to watch The Rage Carrie 2. So my headline reason for watching this is probably something that I don't think, before rewatching and really thinking about it, I don't think I would have found myself saying with any seriousness. But I kid you not, this late 90s, kind of trashy, very loose sequel to a Stephen King iconic piece of cinema, it actually works. Like, it really does work. The connections to the original are just about enough for it to pass. Doesn't overdo it, doesn't underdo it. The vibe of it being a similar story to Carrie is definitely there, albeit those vibes have transferred from late 70s to late 90s, but that's when it was made, so that makes sense. But more than anything, it's the themes here that just feel really prescient today. And these are themes that, when this film came out in 1999, probably not the kind of thing we were seeing that much on screens. Like, yes, jocks being idiots and horrendous to girls and women, but kind of getting some sort of comeuppance for it and being portrayed in a very negative light in the film, that was kind of ahead of its time. And those problems of privileged, rich white boys just kind of behaving however the hell they want and getting away with it, they're problems that still need talking about today, which is why this film still works. Sure, it looks, as I said, like a nu metal music video from the late 90s. And like I said, I don't have any problem with that. Some people might. But get past that look and feel and really pay attention to what's being said and what's going on here. And it still totally works as a 2024 movie. So originally this was not going to be a Carrie sequel. It wasn't going to be in any way tied to Stephen King. The original script of this was called The Curse, and it was based on real life events around a group of high schoolers who called themselves the Spur Posse. These were rich Californian male high schoolers who kept a point system to keep track of their sexual assaults and statutory rapes on the female students in their school, and this came to a head in 1993. So the original script, called The Curse, was based on that, but then production stalled for a couple of years, and when it came back, it had a few more ties to Carrie and was pitched as the sequel that we got. The next title was actually Carrie 2, Say You're Sorry, which sucks, so I'm quite pleased that in the end we got The Rage Carrie 2, which is much more in keeping with some of the themes around what the women characters in this end up feeling, and also a nice nod to Stephen King's Richard Bachman past, of course. So what's the hook in this one? Well, we've got our main character, Rachel Lang, Now she has the gift of telekinesis. Maybe it's a curse, who knows? She's got it under control. That's kind of the main point here. And while she's a nu metal outsider at this high school, she does have some close friends, her best friend being Lisa Parker. Now at the start of the film, we discover that Lisa has lost her virginity to Eric Stark, one of a bunch of high school jocks who are actually just doing things with the girls to add points to their own little personal tally. And Lisa discovers this and is completely humiliated by it, to the point where she dies by suicide. And that unlocks a lot of emotions in Rachel and starts building the titular Rage. But at the same time, Rachel develops her own love interest with a guy called Jesse, who is technically a jock, but he's kind of different to the main cluster of jocks. And she is slowly integrated into the popular gang at school. But is it real? Or is there an elaborate prank at play here, like in the original Carrie? And what exactly is going to happen with all that rage that Rachel perhaps doesn't even know is building up inside her when things come to a head? Boom. So, one reason that might put you off watching this is just how 1999 it looks. Like, to the point where you could almost date it to the week. I've already mentioned it does look like a nu metal music video, particularly the black and white bits that just cut in randomly. But obviously the fashions and the soundtrack, very 1999. And unfortunately, it kind of came out maybe 3 or 4 months too early in 1999 for it to have a good soundtrack. The soundtrack we get is pretty crap, really. Whereas had it come out later in 1999, you'd have had this explosion of the really popular nu metal stuff. It probably would have been something that came out on Roadrunner Records and would have gone down in history. But like I say, it obviously looks very, very 1999. But as I've already talked about, the themes are very 2024. So just try and get past the way it looks and you'll have a good time. Or, you know, if you're like me and 1999 was one of your formative teenage years, then just enjoy the whole thing. Bring it on, nostalgia. Yes, thank you. So this one was directed by Kat Shea, and she had previously done Poison Ivy, although she was not the original director of the Rage Carrie 2. So that was Robert Mandel, who quit just a couple of weeks into shooting over creative differences, and it meant his replacement, Kat Shea, had basically no time to prep and 2 weeks of footage to reshoot, as well as make the rest of the damn movie. Now, I actually think as a director, she does a pretty good job. She probably didn't have as much influence on the script as she would have liked, but I still think it's well directed. And I think it's powerful to have a woman behind the camera for this story in particular. So let's jump into the cast, and we'll start with Emily Bergl as Rachel, who for my money is excellent throughout this. And I like how she looks, and I don't mean that in a pervy way. I like that she looks different to how high school girls from movies from this period looked. She definitely does have a different vibe about her. She stands out, she keeps your attention, and her performance sort of carries it through the entire movie. Like, she's a great lead. Next, we've got to talk about Amy Irving, who reprised her role as Sue Snell from the original film, complete with the exact same fucking haircut. So Sue is now a guidance counsellor at the rebuilt, renewed Bates School, and when she sees Rachel close up, she sees a lot of things that she doesn't like and that bring back a lot of memories from her own high school days. So I think her return is handled very well, apart from one bit, which I will talk about after the spoiler alert. But the way they bring that character in, that's a strong enough tie for me to make it a credible sequel to a Stephen King property. So Rachel's love interest, Jesse, is played by Jason London, who has about as much charisma as this sticker that my son left on the windowsill over there about 2 months ago. And actually, no, this sticker has more charisma because look, it's sparkly. Like, sure, Jason London is hot, but he has no substance whatsoever. And their relationship is just a bit weird and a bit forced. And what's with all the weird pointing? Come on, somebody tell me. So the rest of the jocks, especially Dylan Bruno as Mark Bing, Zachary Ty Bryan as Eric, who we've already mentioned, and Justin Urich as Brad, are all massive pricks and are not at all portrayed in a favourable light, which is perfect for the story. It makes you hate them even more. So some good casting here and some good direction as well.
We're all friends. It's cool. No, we just grew up together. Come on.
Shout out to Walter the dog. Forgot to get a clip of him, but high five for this very good boy. And this is technically a spoiler, but I don't care. He survives. Yes, a dog in a king thing survives. Hallelujah. So lastly on the cast, I love that we have this weird little pocket of American Pie folks. So we get Mina Savaria as Lisa, and we get Eddie K. Thomas as one of Rachel's other friends, Arnold. Like, it just is odd. Same year that American Pie came out and probably changed their lives forever. But it's just there. Just a little weird addition to their resumes, which I just really like. So lastly, before spoilers, we mentioned the look, but this is still worth watching today. And I would say if you've got sons, definitely show them this, because this is a great thing to show them on how not to behave, even if rich white kids do still get away with this shit today. Use it as a starting point for a conversation around consent and around treating people with respect and around not being a massive dickhead. And hey, let's get it into schools and use it as an educational piece. Why not? Sure, let's do it. Show these people what happens when you fuck around. Show them what they'll find out. Did I do that meme thing right? I don't know. Okay, from this point onwards, going to be talking about favourite scenes, favourite moments, showing a couple of more clips from the film, so it might ruin a first time watch. So consider this your spoiler alert, and if you want to bail at this point, just skip ahead to the outro. The timestamp is in the description. Otherwise, do stick around, because I've got a few more reasons for you to watch the Rage Carrie 2 coming right up. Okay then, the big thing. The fact that we learn, along with Sue, at the same time as Sue even, that Rachel is not only similar to Carrie, she's actually Carrie White's half-sister. Not needed at all. Not needed at all. We've got Sue as the link to the original film. The book kind of shows you how to go with this, because at the end of the book, if you remember, we see a letter from a woman in some other state who has noticed basically that her daughter has got telekinesis. Just make that a thing. Just make it a thing that some teenage girls go through. We don't need Rachel to be related to Carrie. That was overkill in my book. Oh, and clear up those school ruins, for God's sake. Like, what is this, some sort of sick memorial? So I mentioned Sue in the last point, and while her death is, I will fully accept, absolutely fucking iconic, it's also really frustrating. Like, if you're going to bring back that character and make her a relevant, useful part of the story, don't just kill her off randomly. Like, save that death for somebody else. Yes, very cool, double piercing through the heads and all of that stuff. It didn't need to be Sue on the other side of the door. That's all I'm saying. They should have kept Sue alive. That is a good place to talk about favourite scenes though. So let me first mention the paintbrush.
I got an idea.
On the little girl's face at the start, which actually made me laugh out loud. Very, very loud indeed. And also, of course, the CDs flying around and killing people. And if you don't remember what CDs are, then that makes me really depressed. However, my favourite scene is the double kill involving exploding glasses and castration by harpoon. Now, neither of those things would realistically kill you outright, but hey, it's a movie, let's just go with it. And it is such a glorious scene that, yeah, totally allow it. And enjoy it, and revel in it even. As for favourite lines, I really like how sassy Rachel is. I love the way she deals with unwanted advances from one of the jocks, from Mark.
Why not?
Because I'm a dyke.
But my favourite line that did make me cackle is when she's having her session with Sue and, well, Sue thinks she's taking the piss. And she's actually not. She's just being a bit of a smartass. But I like it.
If you want to play the piano well, you have to practice.
True.
Large furry animals crawl on my face every night while I sleep.
True. I have a dog.
So when it comes to links, connections to other King adaptations, obviously it's billed as a sequel to Brian De Palma's classic original, and we even get clips from it in this, and we've got Amy Irving back as Sue Snell. And that's about it. unless I missed anything. If I did, let me know. Lastly, I know this isn't saying much, but this is comfortably one of the best Stephen King sequels out there. And despite how dated it looks, as I've talked about ad nauseum at this point, the themes are very, very relevant to today and still need thinking about and talking about. So push past the look and feel and just immerse yourself in the story. And also, the kills are fucking great, so you will have a really good time, trust me. Okay, there we go. 19 reasons for you to watch the Rage Carrie 2. Do let me know what you think of this one in the comments. Have you seen it? Has it been a while? What's your favourite kill? All of those kind of things. Get involved in the comments. And also, while you're scrolling down to make those comments, do check the description for links to my podcast, my Stephen King quiz book, and a bunch of other things as well. But more than anything, thank you for checking out this video and for coming this far. If you've not subscribed yet, maybe consider doing that, then you won't miss any future ones. And if you are subscribed already, hey, tell a friend about it. That'd be really, really helpful. And of course, do come back soon. Next time, it's our next book special. So that'll be fun. I'll see you then.